Have you ever wanted to generate root motion from curve data? Or constrain IK bones to FK bones? Or add smooth root motion based on the average transforms of multiple bones? Or make animations blend perfectly in a blend space? Or whatever? All without leaving the Unreal Engine? Well, now you can with Anim Tools, the plugin made to programmatically bulk modify animation assets. It starts with the database. Create one in the content browser. Add the animations you want to modify. Selecting them will display them in the viewport. Set up the configuration. Do you want to overwrite the existing assets or create new assets in a designated directory? Now we get to the heart of Anim Tools, operations. The plugin ships with a number of operations, as shown in the documentation. However, unlike its predecessor, Anim Tools gives you the power to create your own operations in Blueprint or C++. There are two main overridable functions, Analyze Animation Set and Execute. Analyze Animation Set receives the full animation list for read-only analysis for things like extracting statistics, validating criteria, or caching shared data needed across all animations. Execute is where the modifications happen. Each animation is passed in individually, allowing for the manipulation of bone transforms, anim poses, curves, sync markers, and more through the custom animation class, using either the class's functions or the functions provided within the function libraries. Once operations are made, add them to the database. Operations are applied to an animation consecutively, from top down. An operation can be configured to allow for per animation settings that, once enabled, display those settings in the per animation settings grid, permitting each animation to have different property values passed into it. More details on this can be found in the documentation linked below. Let's do a quick and dirty operation example in Blueprint to apply a rifle pose to an unarmed locomotion animation. Create all the properties, organizing them neatly into categories. Mark some of them as instance editable to ensure they're editable later in the database. Create a function to grab an animation pose from an animation sequence. Create a function to adjust a history bone pose offset. This will create the inertial lag from holding the rifle. Back in the event graph, begin by caching properties to be used throughout the operation. Cache the root trajectory. Then set up the for loop. First, create a stiff pose on the upper body of the character using the experimental anim node wrapper to create a layered blend per bone node. Then create the dynamic additive on the upper body, making further use of the anim node wrapper. Set the right hand IK bone to the bone pose of the right hand FK bone. Create a history delay offset transform that will be used to give a slight appearance of inertia to the upper body of the resulting animation. Set the left hand to right hand relative transform to be identical to the original static overlay anim pose. Apply leg IK on the arms, leveraging again the anim node wrapper class. Set the final anim pose, then cache that pose. Now the for loop is done. Save and exit. Create a database. Add a looping unarmed animation, just one for now for testing. Add the operation we just created. Fill in the AnimSequence's properties to use as part of the layering. Check the preview. Whoops, I forgot to set the root trajectory to the cached array. Let's do that quickly. Now check the preview. We've got a decent looking rifle jog animation with no rifle, of course. It's not bad for a single pose. Set up the configuration, which is something that should have been done at the beginning. Bake out the animation and we're all done. With Anim Tools, you can bulk modify animations how you want. Your ideas, your operations, your game. Check it out on Fab.